Hey guys, I'm Ryan Wright.
And I'm Jerry.
Today we're finally going to be doing our Avengers Age of Ultron spoiler talk.
It's about time.
It's about time. We're standing today. Why? Because this has been hung here for a long time. Finally get to use it. Before we go into this, I did want to actually clear some things up. Clear the air a little bit. Too much bad marijuana spreading around, getting people the wrong thoughts.
Who are you upsetting this time?
More Jews. I feel like when people saw my first review of this, my non-spoiler review, that everyone thought that I fucking hated the film. Because I know what happens. They watch the first minute or two of my review. Yeah. And then they go, fuck you! I disagree! And then they turn off the computer and don't hear the rest, right?
They're all constipated.
Yeah, they all have IBS and that's their biggest problem. Okay, the main thing I got crap for was I said... I watched this beforehand to make sure this is what I said. I said, I feel like the film could have used a bit more humor. And everyone was like, no humor? What the fuck is wrong with you? This film has so much humor. And I was like, yeah, I know. I said a bit more humor. Here's the other thing. Some people were like, yeah, it was really dark, could have used a little bit more humor. But then these other guys didn't fucking get it. And it was like never a medium. I never saw someone who was like, this film had the right balance. Yeah. Everyone was like, either I agree or it had too much humor. And that especially comes from their point of view towards Ultron. Another thing I want to clear up real fast about this whole Ultron situation. I said one thing in my review and everyone took it the wrong way. I said, if they could defeat a god, then I totally believe they can defeat artificial intelligence. And now everyone was like, what are you talking about? Loki sucks! Ultron is fucking scary. And I say in the review that Ultron's scary. And I said right then and there, even though I didn't believe they would win, Ultron still scared me. Loki didn't scare me.
I mean, an artificial intelligence is more advanced than... It's not like they just created another human. He's got the entire capability of the internet, all weapons on Earth.
Yeah.
He's got everything at his disposal.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Loki was a god, so I was under this impression that okay, he has some form of superpowers as opposed to Ultron. But he does have Ultron has his own version of superpowers that do work. Part of what makes Ultron so fucking scary is that, some people are really complaining about the fact that, physically, he was able to be defeated physically almost every single time. He would just fall apart. But even though I felt that way at first, the more I thought about it, I was like, wait a minute though. If he gets defeated, he just hops into another body.
Yeah, exactly.
Builds another one out of nowhere because he has access to the globe. At one point, Ultron smashes himself with a new body.
Yeah.
While mid-sentence or some shit. Ultron is terrifying, and I thought he was more interesting to watch than Loki.
I mean, he's a different kind of guy. We'd also, it's the first time we've seen him too. We've seen Loki in 3-4 movies.
I liked him, and he was cool, but I wasn't ever actually scared of him. He was fun to watch. He was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
And Ultron had a cool level of terror and fun. I like his personality. A lot of people don't dig it. I thought it was really cool because it was neat to see an AI machine, an AI with such a different kind of personality. The trailers sort of showed Ultron as, I am just your typical menacing robot who doesn't like humans anymore. But you see him and I'm like, this guy, he's got a fucking sense of humor.
Well, yeah, he came from Tony Stark, and that's clear, I feel like he would. And I appreciate when people give a villain a sense of humor, because we get so many villains who are only driven by this one purpose, and it's humanity is, I guess, the wrong word, but it gives him a personality, which is kind of refreshing. A villain who cracks jokes clearly isn't that concerned, so that's even scarier to me.
And that's part of what makes him even feel more like artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is supposed to be a robot that's come to life. That's what makes the first Avengers so work. Yeah. That's what makes the first Avengers work so well. It's because they gave them all humor.
Yeah.
You hear Avengers and you're like, ugh, they're all coming together, badass superheroes. Last thing you expect is to laugh a lot.
Yeah.
But that brings more life to it. And this one too, the characters still have their humor. I said it was a lot more serious than the first one. It's a lot darker, but that doesn't mean there's no humor there. The humor comes through interaction with characters. Tony Stark still really had it a lot. You know, like, if anyone never lost it, it was him. No matter how...
I don't think Tony Stark would ever lose it.
It's such a form of defense mechanism for him. He, like, has to use it. In Hawkeye, they really amped up his jokes. He had a lot of... He cracked a lot of one-liners.
Well, and he was more self-aware. He's kind of the rock that holds the team together in this movie.
Yeah, Hawkeye, really funny. I like what they did with this character. I like that we got to meet his wife and kids. Add a lot of dimension to him. And I was wondering this, like, when the movie was done, I was wondering this. And then Joss Whedon talked about it in an interview. I thought, like, Hawkeye was going to die. No. I knew he wasn't going to die because you motherfuckers spoiled for me that Quicksilver dies in this fucking movie. What is wrong with you? Why would I want to know that?
Yeah, that's a bit fucked up.
That's a lot fucked up. That's the only reason I didn't believe he died. But I like the way it was kind of making it seem like he was the one who was going to die.
Yeah.
It was clever. But, you know, you do see some of his leadership skills, especially when he's talking with, like, Scarlet Witch. That sense of humor is always cool. He felt more necessary. Yeah. You know, like, because that was always the big joke about Hawkeye is, like, do they really need this dude? And I'm so happy they acknowledged that in the movie.
Well, and he acknowledges, like, there are a number of lines in there that make it seem like he feels kind of underappreciated.
Yeah, no.
You know, on a whole.
If he got his own solo movie, we'd probably appreciate him a lot more easily.
Yeah, I guess it's harder to do that because he doesn't have the superpowers. He's got heightened senses, it seems like.
I think each Avenger did serve their purpose. But what I found interesting was that a lot of the main focus was not given to the main 4 Avengers over here. Like, they put more focus on Hawkeye and his personal life. Then they gave Bruce Banner and Black Widow a romance story. Yeah. They were focusing on characters that didn't have their own solo movies. As opposed to before, we were like, they all got their solo movies. Now we want to see them all come together.
Yeah.
First, I was a little let down by that. Then I was thinking about it, and I was like, yes, each Avenger served their purpose. Thor had his purpose with figuring out the Infinity Stone crap. Yeah. You know, Cap is the leader and buff and martial artist. And then, you know, everyone knows Tony Stark's and Bruce Banner. Like, that's all there. But then you get Quicksilver, you get Scarlet Witch, you get Hawkeye, you get Black Widow, you get Mark Ruffalo because Hulk didn't have a standalone movie in Phase 2. I feel like they're even kind of just forgetting about Phase 1 a little bit. I like that because the problem is when you do a sequel to the Avengers, it's like, well, we've already gotten so much story about these main 3 dudes right here. Yeah. You know, we got one Hulk story. We need to, like, focus on these other characters now. It would be hard to actually get like 10 fucking characters to have every one of them shine equally.
Yeah, of course. I mean, an ensemble is always tricky. And this time around, they've added more characters and there's more stuff going on. It seems natural that the focus would shift, you know, and play to different Avengers' strong suits and stuff.
And it makes sense that they would shift the character focus of emotional storyline because we know that the 3 main Avengers and Hulk are going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's like, let's focus on characters who might actually die.
Yeah.
You know, because they don't have their own standalone film.
Or just who we don't get to explore, you know.
Yeah, it's more, because you feel like it's more likely to happen that way. Yeah. I think they need to start killing off some main Avengers. Because otherwise, every time they get together, we're just going to be like, shit's fine.
Well, yeah, it's like they're always going to return again.
Yeah.
Or they have their own franchise to go back to.
It takes away a lot of fear.
This movie did a good job making me wonder how they would defeat Ultron, but, you know, I never thought they weren't going to defeat Ultron.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Going back to the humor, Jay. What I would like to talk about is that scene when everyone's trying to pick up Thor's hammer.
Oh yeah, I mean, that whole party scene, I would watch a whole movie about that. Like,
it was a great fucking
scene. That was hilarious.
That's what I mean. I wish I had more, like, here's what I felt. I felt there was humor injected throughout the film. Yes. I wanted more fun like that scene. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
Because I felt the first one had a lot of that fun. There were still jokes throughout Age of Ultron, but I didn't feel that level of humorous fun as much as I wanted it to.
I guess, I mean, I don't mind them being different. I was laughing throughout this movie, even times when other people weren't as much. So, like, I thought there was a lot of fun and humor mixed in sort of along the way.
He was like Robert De Niro on Cape Fear.
Yeah. It's me. Cigar and everything.
Cigar and everything. My favorite moment in that whole picking up Thor's hammer scene was when Cap budged it. Yeah. And then you see, like, Chris Hemsworth's face.
That play of emotions in his face is perfect.
That was perfect. And it was just a cool scene. When, like, Ultron shows up. Like, that's my impression of Ultron showing up.
Well, you know, he's in the busted up acid bot.
Yeah. But why I really like that scene is because it teases my favorite moment out of that whole film. Because that scene is just played out like, this is just for laughs, this is for chemistry, and to see the Avengers bonding again. Like,
when it is. Like
it totally is. But then it becomes so meaningful when they bring in my favorite character from this film, Vision.
Vision's fantastic.
Vision was fantastic. Paul Bettany did a great job. It's cool because,
He's next level in this. Like,
he plays voiceover for so many years, and then he has to bring it to actual human form.
Yeah.
And he does it, like, perfectly.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I mean, the way he portrays Vision and just the dialogue they gave him, like, there's a lot of gravitas there.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
And it was the perfect film to introduce Vision.
Yeah.
Because it's the exact protagonist they need to be equal to the antagonist.
Yeah.
You know, like the whole time with that hammer, the whole point was, you can't pick it up if you ain't worthy.
Yeah.
And then when Vision because the whole time they're like, man, Tony, you created Ultron. I don't know if I can trust this dude.
Yeah.
You know, like, you fucked up badly. What's to say he's not gonna fuck up?
And it was perfect because at first I didn't even think about it, and then when Cap and Thor both noticed, then we all noticed, and it's like, oh shit!
Like, yeah, it's like, oh, he's the worthy one to save us. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like, that was awesome. And because the creation of Vision was the perfect way for Tony to get his redemption.
Oh yeah.
Because Tony creates Ultron with this goal in mind, but he totally fucks up. Instead of letting him fail and just have to defeat the bad guy, they let him solve it.
Yeah.
Like the equation that he's been trying to fix.
Yeah.
So he solves it, brings about Vision, ultimate way to get redemption, to be like, hey guys, I know I fucked up, and a lot of people died, including that Russian boy.
Yeah.
But I made Vision.
Well, yeah, and it also makes that conflict make sense because, you know, the other Avengers are still like, no, dude, you've already done this once, don't do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, I got it this time. And then to have that payoff is nice.
Oh, it's so nice. God, I'd fuck Vision. I have a vision to fuck Vision. And they talked about death. Quicksilver. What? You didn't see me coming? Ha! Came on Hawk's Eye.
It was really original.
Really original.
Great joke. 10 out of 10.
More like 20 out of 10. This is really talked about. Everyone's like, what the fuck?
Arguably.
How could you kill off Quicksilver in the first movie? Now, when Quicksilver died, I was bummed out. Because I was like, man, I'm hoping those comments were all lies.
Yeah.
Because I was like, fuck, I like this Quicksilver.
I do too.
You know, yeah, totally different from Days of Future Past. You can compare all you want. But I thought this Quicksilver was a better version for what Age of Ultron story was.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, he fits a lot better in this universe. In that iteration. I mean, they're totally different characters.
Maybe they shouldn't have killed him off because it was his first story and we could have expanded and seen him in more Marvel films. But this other side is like, well, this is really like more Scarlet Witch's story.
Well, and that his death arguably is something that has an effect on her and will drive her character forward in a certain way.
Yeah.
So it's like, even though it is a bummer to see him go too soon, you know, that death means a lot to her, and it sort of marks a turning point for her at the end of the movie.
I mean, most of the focus between the two of them goes much more to her.
Yeah.
I mean, especially because Ultron has her like do the whole mind manipulation shit that features some great dream sequences.
Yeah, those were cool. I like the addition of those.
Yeah, from the very first one, every one of them was great. The production of it was neat. It's very artistic.
Creepy and strange.
Yeah,
it brings just a different visual flair to these movies.
Yeah, and it does add more of that creepy, haunting vibe that I was like really referring to, which is not bad. People think I'm saying the drama is bad.
No.
So I was saying like a couple of interaction moments I didn't find that entertaining, but the drama is really good. For it like adds to the intensity.
Yeah, for this kind of movie. Yeah.
It makes the fight scenes more rewarding too.
Yeah, of course.
You know, like first Avengers had a lot of like, we want to see these kinds of fights, so let's throw it in, and that's perfect for that first Avengers.
Nothing's worth anything if you don't care, you know. So it's like that's what the drama goes to serve.
Yeah, because then you see Scarlet Witch and she uses all her powers, and then even when Hawkeye's like, you step out that door, you're a fucking Avenger, bitch!
Yeah.
And then she's like, that's not how the scene goes. Because we already got like, Quicksilver's being taken care of in a whole other franchise. My first feeling was, man, he didn't really get a rewarding death. He was just saving Hawkeye, and him and Hawkeye don't have like some strong established relationship in any form.
Yeah.
And so when he dies, I'm like, oh, fuck. Then my second thought goes, well, if it was going to be a more important death, it might have been more obvious.
Well, yeah, it might have been more cliche, you know.
Exactly. But this is fucking Marvel. They can bring back anyone from the dead.
Plus, I mean, he and Hawkeye both traded that line about not, like, you didn't see me coming, and then I think he says something like that when he's been shot.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming. So, like, you know, they do have a little bit of a payoff there.
They have a joke they both really like that they love to call back on.
Super excited about that joke.
Hawkeye, you know, goes to sleep later on thinking about, man, I'm going to miss that joke.
Joke's great.
That was a great joke. Would Tony be willing to do that? The romance between Natasha and Bruce. Now, Natasha's kind of been flirting with everyone's cock in these movies. And
yeah, which is a kind of a weird... like I guess the desire to have a romantic story in all these movies, but it is kind of weird.
Well, what they normally do with Black Widow is let's throw in some sexual tension between her and a hero. Yeah. This one they're like, let's throw in a romance with her. So
yeah,
you do get to see a different side, and it is cool to see like Bruce Banner's more sensitive side. But you know how Bruce is going to be.
Yeah,
I'm the Hulk. You can't be with me. What if you get me mad?
Yeah.
That's some straight up domestic violence.
Oh,
how would they fuck?
I don't know.
I brought this up in the Incredible Hulk review. How does the Hulk fuck a human?
I don't want to know. I don't think that's going to be a positive
outcome
for anybody.
He gets his heart rate too high, he can't fuck. We learned that in Phase 1.
Yeah.
So he has to fuck as the Hulk. But yeah, some people don't like the romance between Bruce and Natasha. I don't mind it.
I mean, I don't mind it either. But...
it makes sense. She can't conceive a kid. He probably doesn't want to conceive a kid unless he's the Hulk. And he's going to bash that vagina up.
You just can't resist
I can't resist it, man. Come on, Hulk can only have sex if he's a Hulk.
Hey, you don't know, man. Maybe Bruce will figure it out.
Yeah, that's what the Solo film's about.
It's just about him learning how to, you know, do everyday stuff.
All this opening montage of him trying to figure out how to like have sex again.
It's just an uplifting sort of indie, you know, dramedy about a guy living in New York trying to figure it out.
Every time Natasha comes into these movies, I like more and more what they're doing. Mm-hmm. You know, like you really get a good glimpse into like maybe like the kind of lifestyle she had as a little girl.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was really cool because you're always hearing like she has a traumatizing, fucked up past and she was a bad person, but now she's good. To actually see some of that like childhood stuff was really interesting.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that.
You know, with the Hulk, with the way his character ends, it made me go, I want to see his solo adventure afterwards. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I was like, it's the same Hulk story. What I liked about it was Bruce Banner starts off like he's okay with being the Hulk. Mm-hmm. And then he goes back to, I shouldn't be the Hulk anymore. Yeah, because of the opening. That opening too. Mm-hmm. Fucking loved that opening.
Was cool.
First 10 minutes just had a huge fucking smile on my face. Mm-hmm. You know, you got all that great banter back. It's like the characters are back. We don't need to waste any time with them like having to assemble again.
They got each other's numbers.
They're like,
it'll be all right.
You know they're going to get back, so just let them fucking get back together. They'll just cut all the bullshit.
Well, that's a cool thing about this movie is you get the sense that like since S.H.I.E.L.D. has sort of dissolved a bit, it's like now they're just the Avengers and that's a standalone organization.
Yeah.
You know, that's cool to me.
They're what S.H.I.E.L.D. should have been, according to Cap. Of course, Hulkbuster versus Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was pretty incredible, and I Hulk busted. That's right.
I was waiting for that joke.
Can you imagine when Hulk comes? Big gooey green stuff.
When you make the porno, you know, I'll watch.
If it was white cum, it would turn into the Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. But yeah, that was a bomb fight.
That was a badass fight.
They revealed like 15 minutes of footage from that fight. Yeah. But that extra 10 they threw in was really cool.
Not that long, but yeah.
No, my favorite moment from that fight was when Tony was doing the fucking punch with his hand and he's like, stay down, stay down, stay down. What does he say? Go to sleep?
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. Oh man, that was great.
Well, just the way that fight ends too, with like the Hulk getting up out of the rubble, like screaming at the crowd and then just thunk, you know, like from out of frame.
And it shows that the Hulk is pretty creative. Mm-hmm. No matter what trappings they gave him, he's just like, no, I'm gonna get what I want.
When he becomes the Hulk, he's a primal creature, so just whatever's there, you know, it's like he's not dumb, he's just, the thoughts are firing so fast that it's just this, that.
And Scarlet Witch, I'm going back to her, yeah, her fake accent bothered me, but I still liked a lot what they did with her character. Like, you know, like she's the main reason things took a turn of events. Mm-hmm. Everyone had a very clear, defined goal. Mm-hmm. But then when she interfered, people started getting fucked up. Yeah. Thor was like, I need to go on my own. And then Bruce Banner was like, really shouldn't be the Hulk anymore. Black Widow was like, I should go to sleep because I'm very traumatized. Cap was like, oh, I miss my bitch. She's so old now. She has amnesia. She don't even remember me whenever I show. I've been here like 15 times. Hawkeye didn't get hurt.
Well, and they called that back beautifully. Yeah. He was like, nope, I did that last time.
I did the mind control thing already. Didn't like it.
Yeah, it's perfect. Oh yeah, Nick Fury in this movie. So I was wondering if and when they might have Nick Fury show up. I know he's on the poster, so you gotta have him somewhere. But I like the way they used him in this in a more like limited capacity. He comes in a good portion of the way through the movie. After seeing so many Avengers films where like the lead-up films where he's such a prominent role, it was cool to kind of have him be just a side character, to advise them.
Yeah, well, it's different now. Before it was like representative of this huge secret organization. Yeah. Now he's just a representative of good. Yeah. He's a lone survivor, you know? Like, he's supposed to be dead. Yeah. So, I actually think it would be a cool Nick Fury standalone movie. Yeah, at this stage. Not when he's like running S.H.I.E.L.D. Like when he is on his own, hiding. Like that would be a really cool Nick Fury.
Definitely.
I agree. We are on the same page here.
Dude, look at that.
I concur. There were some cool cameos in the movie too.
It's weird, like it almost works better for me in this scenario where you take a bunch of the little supporting characters from all the standalone movies and then you put them all in the Avengers, and it really does make the Avengers feel like a whole big world.
Yeah, it does.
And it feels less intrusive, So like to have, Rhodey and Falcon and a bunch of different people show up.
Dude, man, they just don't know how to write Rhodey.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like a wah-wah.
He had a funny scene where he shows that he doesn't do anything as crazy as these guys. Yeah. And then he shows up for like 5.5 minutes to help out.
I wish Falcon had shown up in that scene.
I wish Falcon would show. He was cool.
Like, he was cool.
And Winter Soldier, he was one of my favorite parts of that whole thing, man. He was really cool. Because he's human, but man, does he have some serious skill with that shit.
Oh yeah, I love Anthony Mackie.
And the closing scene, the finale with the Avengers headquarters.
Oh yeah, I thought that was cool.
That was really cool, because now it's the new S.H.I.E.L.D. in a lot of ways. S.H.I.E.L.D. was creating a secret organization led by Nick Fury of superheroes, but it wasn't like what S.H.I.E.L.D. was capitalizing off of. Yeah. But this Avengers is capitalizing off the fact that we're trying to gather as many heroes together as possible.
Yeah. Well, and now there's a better sense of community because it's not just Tony's building anymore. It's like, a community structure.
Well, that alone expands the whole universe to many more options. Because you could throw in like 1 billion more Marvel characters into this world now. And the Avengers are constantly switching in and out of heroes. Yeah.
It would be like X-Men.
We need X-Men in there. I thought the action in it was better than the last one.
It's BA. It's BA action.
Yeah. BAMF. Badass motherfucker.
I think there's a lot of cool action in both movies, but yeah.
No, but this is about which one is good and which one's not anymore. Because now that there's two, we have to decide which one's better.
You can't like two.
You can't like both of them. Time. If you like one more than the other, that means you hate the other one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a misinterpretation people got from me.
Only new shit is good.
No, the more I think about it, the cooler it gets, and I sometimes fluctuate to thinking it's better than the first one.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I don't know which one. I gotta go back and watch the first one now.
At the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Just like them both and you're okay.
They're not one movie, they're two movies.
Yeah, it's like we don't need to go which one's better. Like, even if Age of Ultron is not better, that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. I still think it's a great film.
Yeah, I mean, it's a much harder movie to stick the landing for, arguably, because the first one just had to do it right, and this one has to live up to so many things.
Oh, yeah. Alright, guys, well, that's our spoiler review of Avengers Age of Ultron.
That's right.
If you're new to the channel, you can subscribe to TheReelRejects. You can check out Jerry's playlist on this channel, Reasons to Jerry, where he does movie reviews. And you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Trying to get product placement here.
Hell yeah.
We would like product placement Snapple.
Oh, Snapple. I could actually get on board with that.
I could get on board with a lot of Snapple.
Yeah, I like tea.
Dude, Snapple to me is the best company ever. I'm gonna get product placement.
Show your math.
I'm gonna get product placement from them.
Okay.
Watch. Here's the key. Every time before I fuck, I drink a Snapple.
I knew it was coming.
Ah!
Oh, go away.